Okay, this is the second take and I have a bath running, so I'm going to have to make this quick. I've been thinking a lot about what I should write a vlog about or record a vlog about, and I decided I wanted to keep it kind of light, so I'm going to do a two-part vlog. The first part is kind of an introduction into how I became a writer, and the second part will be about Madison, which we'll get to later. I started writing when I was very young, as in I made my first little notebook, paper book that was stapled together when I was 5. It was called Cardiff by the Sea. I had a friend who lived in Cardiff by the Sea, California. Yes, it is a real place. But mine was a murder mystery. I wrote another notebook paper book when I was around 12. It was called Christie's Homegirls. Again, I was living in Southern California at the time, and I went to school with people who had siblings, older siblings that were in gangs. So it was something that was kind of real to me, nothing that I knew firsthand, but I used my imagination and created all kinds of crazy stuff. I later, all through high school, worked on a story about a girl who was raped and got pregnant, and it wasn't very good. I still have it, and it was good for me at the time, but it wasn't very good. I spent hours on that story. It's over 100 pages long, handwritten. I didn't have a computer. I would stay up until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes writing on that stupid thing. When I went to college, I went for a major in psychology. I ended up getting a major in, or my bachelor's in English with an emphasis in creative writing, short story fiction. So, and that's kind of where Madison was born. She was kind of a figment of my imagination prior to that, but that's where she kind of took shape, and I have worked on her for many, many years, which I'll get into in the next vlog. I'm a writer by trade. I tried to get a job with creative writing and nobody would hire me, so I went back to school for technical writing. Technical writing is, you've all seen it. If you have an iPhone, you probably got a user guide. Any cell phone, you got a user guide. If you have a navigation system, you probably got a user guide. I wrote user guides and tutorials and manuals for insurance software for 2 years of my life, and now I manage web content for one of our community colleges here in Missouri. So I really enjoy it. What I like about, I didn't think that I'd like technical writing because it is so structured. There are a lot of rules. You want to be very concise. If you've ever read a bad manual, then you understand why being concise and clear is so important. But what I found out was that it actually suits me because I'm simple. I don't use a lot of big words. I don't know a lot of big words. It's not like I grew up in a home where very many people, or in neighborhoods where very many people did know big words. So if those kind of words were used, it was to impress people from the outside, and they were usually used wrong, which had, a negative effect. It didn't work. So technical writing being simple, taking technical knowledge and putting it in a writing format that anybody can understand, that's kind of up my alley. There are days that it gets dry because I also like to kind of stretch that creative side of me as well, but that's why I have the fiction, which I do truly love and wish I could do more of. I've written a couple. I wrote an article for Missouri Life, which is a magazine here in Missouri, about canoeing in the Ozarks, finding those secluded streams, places to go. I have published a couple of my stories in small-time publications, nothing anybody would be able to find, but it's been a lot of fun. And I teach writing, I teach technical writing, I teach English composition, and pretty much before becoming a mother, I would have solely defined myself as a writer, and now, of course I define myself as a mother first, but I still, when I think of who I am, that is definitely a big part of who I am. And the more interesting stuff will come in the next vlog. Sorry if I've bored you guys and I'm a little shy, which is why I keep looking away from the camera. But my next vlog, I'll talk about Madison. Madison is everything that that I wish I was, and parts of what I wish I wasn't. So she's a big deal in my life. And now you probably think I'm crazy because I'm talking about her as she's a real person. So I think that pretty much covers it. So that's vlog number 1, how I became a writer and kind of why I still write. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.